Hey folks, it looks like we are hopefully maybe going to get a little bit of rain up here on the mountain, which will work because in partnership with Vredestein Tires, they have sent us a set of their new Hypertrac Performance All Season to put on Zack's M3. Zack had the Pilot Sport 4S on before for the last, year or so?
2 years, yeah.
And it's actually going to be kind of a wet winter. So this is a brand from Europe. They've been selling tires all over Scandinavia and Europe for 100 plus years.
The company's over 100 years old.
People in America have never really heard of them before. So this is, they gave us these Hypertrac Performance All Season. Unlike the PS4S, this is a 500 tread wear tire with a more blocky tread pattern.
Right.
In theory, it should be much better in the cold and the wet.
Yeah, it should evacuate water a lot more easily. It has a lot more channels to it, and those blocks will help it grip in wet or snow. God forbid we find that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you want to end up in snow with this tire, but it would be okay. I think you'd probably get out of there. And more also, additionally, Zack typically runs 4 rear wheels on this car, which a lot of M3 people do.
A lot of people do. If you run square stance, it improves the steering feel and improves the front grip. It's an easy way to do it.
Right, but in the wet, that actually makes it worse.
Yeah.
So we went back to the stock front wheels. So we're now staggered 225 45 18s in the front, 255 40 18s in the back, stock wheels. All right, so Zack, with experience on the other tires, will get us started. Let's see how these things do.
All right.
123K on the old odometer. Oh, she's still good. Was that a power shift? Still got it.
I bought it with 85,000 miles, I think.
That's a bunch.
So I put 40 on it in 3 years.
That's a bunch.
I mean, if there's one thing these cars do well, it's cross distance.
I'm not getting a lot of road noise. They're quiet on the road, right?
So I will say that these are definitely quieter on the road than the PS4s were. Granted, my front section used to be significantly wider. But even so, that tread pattern I found to be pretty loud in this car.
They're also quieter than that Mazda road tires we just had, those Bridgestones.
Yeah, I've been pretty pleased with them. The front end, you'll notice maybe.
Well, your heel towing work is very good.
Front end feels lighter. The steering feel got a lot lighter. It's still a hydraulic setup.
Well, that's from going to from 255s to 225s in the front. Yeah.
No tram lining.
I mean, it feels like you've got some pretty decent grip here. You're not going super slow.
Yeah.
TC's not kicking in, or is it off?
It's off because it's pretty invasive. Remember, this is 2002.
That's true.
Developed in like '99.
Not a good era for traction control.
Yeah, it's a light switch, really.
Yeah, this is a fun little car, isn't it? Good car.
It's a very good car.
If you want a car to kick the crap out of, this is good.
Yeah, you can do that, but you can also, drive 1,000 miles in it. It's really comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm still really pleased with the ergonomics of this thing. The seat's a little high, as your head is probably can attest to, even without a sunroof.
Up until the F80, the BMW M3 seats were always kind of high.
Yeah.
In between the E30 and the F80, you had 2 decades of really high seats.
Which, they're like, look at the forward visibility. You're like, yeah, because I'm sitting on the roof.
Yeah, I can.
I mean, you do.
I can't follow that one. That was a good joke.
You do have good forward visibility because this is before car companies had to care about pedestrians.
Yeah.
So the front end drops away really, really nicely. I don't know, man. I know my car has lots of aesthetic blemishes, but
that's fine.
I still really like it. I do everything that's.
Nobody is required to keep their car mint. I like the idea of buying a car and using it until there's nothing left of it.
Yeah, man. I moved the table in this thing.
That's value. Okay, so far, I mean, let's see what happens in this carousel here. Give me a little push of the front end. What happened?
All right, let's see who's around the carousel.
Nobody. I just saw it.
Oh, okay, so we're gonna get on too early.
It's okay.
Pretty okay.
It's okay.
Didn't immediately let go. I mean, granted, we're not doing instrumented tire testing, but
this is a very official test.
Yeah, this is what we
science.
do with cars. driving in the canyons. I'm not losing the front. We're not losing the back on exit.
Right, yeah. All right, let me have a go.
All right. Pull over in this guy's campsite.
Should we stop and donut it in front of this guy's campsite? Something tells me that campsite isn't so voluntary. I don't know. Seems like that might be a semi-permanent campsite. Okay, now let's see how it is in the gravel. Let's get in the gravel. And now,
Just had to get turned around for you.
I was good. It did that very nicely, very predictably. All right.
What are all these warning lights? I'm just kidding. You are.
Seat go lower?
No. Like
oh, I'm really sitting up high.
You sit really up high. And imagine if I had a sunroof, it takes 2 more inches.
Yeah. No,
So
if I had one of these, I'd have to do aftermarket seats.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
Which I will do one day. I appreciate the adjustability.
One day when
but they're not great.
Well, you could probably also find a crashed one. Oops, sorry, getting used to your clutch there.
That's okay.
Okay. Second gear. Hydraulic steering. Wow.
Yeah. It's like it's progressive rack, so it's pretty good. It's not perfect.
Well, you have to give
whatever.
it such a big blip compared to the last stick car.
Yeah, you do. You do.
All right, now let's see it.
But you can't, rev the
You have to do a bunch of steering input, but
yeah,
it does have grip at the front end. I mean, for a 500 tread wear,
it's pretty good.
I'm not running it out of grip.
No,
I mean, it is cold. It's under 50 degrees right now. It's like in the 40s Fahrenheit.
I mean, the tires are probably a decent temp now for our drive up here in my drive, but for 500 tread wear, that's a big number.
Oh, this thing is fun still.
All right,
it's
they're
a fun
still
car.
fun.
Yeah.
Steering's a little, they help you a little too much. That's why some people put in different racks, but,
Oh, what rack do they put in? The Z3 one?
The Z3 one. The elusive Z3 one. Very hard to find. It's like...
Yeah, it's like in Mustangs, you need the OEM Terminator Cobra rack, which is like impossible to find.
Exactly.
I don't know, man. For an all-season, this seems fine. You can mob.
Yeah. I can attest to that.
If you're one of the people that likes to drive at the absolute edge of grip in the canyons, first off, you're an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
That's like not what canyons are for.
No, go to a track.
But for I might not buy these in California because it doesn't rain enough to make good use of them. But if I lived in Seattle or Portland or Chicago or the New York tri-state area, the Northeast, and I wanted a tire that I could go pretty quick on, but that wouldn't hose me out in the wet, it's all right.
Yeah, especially if for me, this is kind of a do-everything car, and if you have a car like that you want to drive year-round as long as it's not snowing, then you kind of need a do-everything tire. Except, tires are 3-season tires. There's no real 4-season tires.
No.
If it snows, you need snow tires.
Don't put snow.
Asterisk.
Don't put all seasons in snow. That's probably not good. Dude, this thing is fun.
Isn't it fun?
Yes.
Yeah.
Brake feel is nice. They're neat. Glad it doesn't have 19s.
Every now and then I try to tell myself I want to get a different car, and I can't, because I just do something with this that makes me like it more.
Yeah, this thing's pretty rad.
Yeah, don't get 19s if you get one of these. Keep the 18s.
Yeah.
Your spine, your fillings, everything will thank you. All my friends that have 19s, and I have 5 friends that have this car.
They all hate them,
have bent their rims and hate their tires and hate their rims.
Yeah, no, this car's meant for 18s.
Yeah,
for sure. But if you had told me, like, just the specs, like 500 tread wear, all season tire, no more square stance, I'd be like, your handling is going to be toast.
Right, you're going to think the tires are made out of like fast food trays.
Yeah, no, that was a pretty stout little run actually. I'm not sure how much quicker I could have gone on another tire, but if it rained on us, I feel like it would have been fine. But pretty impressive stuff actually.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah. So shout out to Vredestein for making that whole thing possible, for taking care of our show. And Zach's going to put a lot more miles on these tires now, and we'll report back later at the end of the winter. Yeah, that's it. Bye.
Listen to the podcast.
The complete Vredestein range, including the Hypertrac, is available from Tire Rack.